Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to be going over a couple of different moveset builds that you can go with on your Alakazam in the second generation Pokemon games and how you can access these moves. Alakazam is a Psychic type. This leaves it resisting Fighting and Psychic, weak to Bug, Dark, and Ghost. In terms of the stats, Alakazam has elite numbers in the special attack and speed categories at 135 and 120 respectively. Also decent special defense at 85, but the rest of the numbers are quite a bit lower with HP at 55, attack at 50, and defense at 45. So first I'm going to touch on the mixed attacker build, and then after that I'll go over the utility build, but we're going to start off with Psychic, going off of that very high special attack, and it's the same type attack bonus. Psychic is a 10% chance to lower the target special defense by 190 power, 100 accurate. And Alakazam learns this through leveling up, picking it up at level 38. Move number 2 is going to mix this attacker build with a physical option, fighting move, Dynamic Punch. The downside is it's only 50% accurate, but it does have 100 power and 100% chance to confuse the target. And this is really just to give Alakazam something to use against other very common Gen 2 competitive Pokemon such as Snorlax, Blissey, and Tyranitar. And Alakazam learns this one through TM01. And this TM can be picked up as a prize for defeating the gym leader Chuck. Move number 3 is going to give us a survivability option with either Recover or Substitute, where Recover heals the user by 50% of its max HP, and Alakazam also has access to Substitute through a prior generation. The user takes 1/4 of its max HP to put in a Substitute. And Alakazam learns Recover through leveling up, picking that one up at level 26. Whereas Substitute would have to be learned through a prior generation in the Gen 1 Pokemon game. Substitute is TM50, found over at the Rocket Game Corner for 7,700 coins. So you'd have to have your Alakazam in the Gen 1 games, teach it that TM50, and then trade it back to the Gen 2 games. And rounding out this build with move number 4, we're going to have another special attack, and it just depends on what kind of coverage you're looking for with either Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, or Ice Punch. They all have the same damage and accuracy at 75 and 100, and they each have a 10% chance to either burn the target, cause paralysis, or freeze. You could also trade off a risk-reward situation with Zap Cannon, which, like Dynamic Punch, has only a 50% accuracy, and Zap Cannon is going to have 100 power and 100% chance to paralyze the target if it hits. But starting off with Thunder Punch, Fire Punch, and Ice Punch, these are found over at the Goldenrod department store on the 5th floor, and they're going to be TM41 for Thunder Punch, TM48 for Fire Punch, and TM33 for Ice Punch. Whereas Zap Cannon, if you went that route, would be TM07 found over at the Kanto Power Plant. And over at the Kanto Power Plant, you can pick up Zap Cannon from the Power Plant Manager once the machine part is recovered. And that rounds out this mixed attacker build, giving us some special and physical options to deal out a lot of damage to our opposition, with also having a survivability option with either Recover or Substitute. I also quickly wanted to touch on the utility build, which I also think can be a really good path to go down, and I already went over Psychic, Fire Punch, as well as Recover, so I'll just touch on Toxic and Encore. So with Toxic, it's going to badly poison the target, 85% accurate, and Toxic can be picked up as TM06 as a prize for defeating the gym leader Janine. And Encore can be a great utility move to have. The target repeats its last move for 3 to 6 turns, so if you're going against an opponent that's setting itself up with something like a Curse, Swords Dance, anything that's boosting its stats, you can switch in Alakazam, use Encore, lock them into that move, and then they won't be able to use those boosts to directly attack you. They'll probably be forced to switch out, and then those increases will be reset. And Encore is learned as an egg move. And going over to the breeding chart in Gen 2 for Alakazam, we can see Encore and the father would have to be Mr. Mime to pass it down and eventually get it onto your Alakazam. And that rounds out this second utility build. The item in both instances is going to be leftovers. At the end of every turn, the holder restores 1/16 of its max HP. And leftovers can be picked up from a Wild Snorlax, from a trash bin in the Celadon City restaurant, or by trading Wild Clefable or Wild Snorlax from the Gen 1 Pokemon games over to the Gen 2 games. And that'll finish this one off, so I appreciate you guys stopping by. Consider subscribing to the YouTube channel, and I'll catch you back here next time.